I turned on my side and tried to close my eyes, but the walls felt too close, the air too heavy. My body begged for rest, yet my mind refused. Then I heard it, Jessica's voice, sharp even in a whisper. Tomorrow we'll lock her away. She's becoming a burden. My heart slammed against my ribs. I held my breath, praying I had misheard. David, she continued, I'm serious. She wanders at night, she forgets things, she embarrasses us. We can't live like this anymore. Silence. I waited for my son's voice, for his protest, for even a small defense of me. Nothing came. David, Jessica pressed, you know I'm right. Say something. Finally a low sigh. I don't know. I bit my lip so hard I tasted blood. That was all he had to say? You don't know. Jessica's whisper sharpened. Do you want to end up like your co-workers, dragging their sick mothers around? Is that the life you want? She's not your responsibility anymore. She's old, tired, confused. You can't carry her forever. She's my mother, David muttered. Exactly, she hissed, and she's dragging you down. Do you want our marriage to collapse because of her? Do you want our future ruined? I clutched the blanket tighter, shaking. My son's silence was louder than any word. Jessica pressed harder. Tomorrow, I'll make the call. A home, a facility, whatever it takes. We'll lock her away before she ruins us. You agree, don't you? Pause. Then David's voice, faint, broken. Maybe you're right. The world tilted under me. My son. My own flesh. My sacrifices, my years, dismissed with a single whisper. I buried my face in the pillow, but the words wouldn't stop echoing. Lock her away. Burden. Ruin. I couldn't lie still. I pushed the blanket back, swung my legs over the side of the bed and whispered to myself, no. Not me. Not like this. My voice trembled. How can he, after everything? I rose, my knees stiff, my breath uneven. I paced the small room, each step heavier than the last. David, Jessica's voice came again from the hallway, softer now. Don't worry. Tomorrow everything will change. You'll thank me one day. My stomach turned. I wanted to storm out, to scream, to demand answers. But I froze, trapped by fear and grief. My own son would watch as his wife locked me away. I pressed my hand to my chest. I can't let it happen. I won't. The floor creaked outside my door. I froze, holding my breath. Their shadows slipped past. Whispering. Plotting. Then silence again. I sank to the edge of the bed. My fingers trembled as I whispered into the dark. I raised you, David. I gave you everything. How can you throw me away? Tears burned my eyes, but I swallowed them down. Crying wouldn't save me. I needed a plan. I pictured the old leather bag in the closet, the one I hadn't touched in years. I imagined slipping it over my shoulder, filling it with just enough to survive. I'll leave before morning, I whispered. Before they can touch me. My heart pounded, but with it came a strange calm. Survival. I sat in silence, listening to the tick of the old wall clock. Each second felt like a countdown to my end. The door creaked slightly. My chest tightened. Jessica's voice floated through again. She's quiet. Maybe she's asleep. Good. Tomorrow we'll finally be free. Free. The word stabbed me. To them, I was nothing more than a chain to be cut away. I whispered into the still air, you'll regret this, Jessica. And you, David, you'll remember your mother when it's too late. I lay back down, though my eyes never closed. Every whisper haunted me. Every silence from my son stabbed deeper. By dawn, I knew one truth. If I stayed, I would lose myself. If I left, I might lose everything else. But I whispered to myself again, steady this time, better to walk into the night than be locked away by the son I raised. I gripped the blanket one last time, then let it go. Tomorrow they planned to lock me away. Tonight I would escape. I folded the small leather bag open on the bed, whispering to myself, just the essentials. Nothing more. My hands shook as I touched the old fabric. Do I take clothes? Or food? I murmured. My voice sounded foreign in the empty room. I don't even know where I'll go. I pulled out a scarf, then dropped it. What use is this? The silence pressed against me, and with it came the flood of memories. David, I whispered into the dark as if he were still my little boy. Do you remember when I walked you to school in the rain? The memory rose so clear it hurt. Mom, I'm cold, his small voice once said, clutching my hand. I know, baby. Just a little further. I remembered tightening my grip, shielding him with my shawl even though I was drenched to the bone. Back in the present, I pressed my hands to my face. How could that boy turn into the man who wants me gone? I stuffed an old photo into the bag. A picture of David at 10 smiling with missing teeth. My lips trembled. I kept this safe all these years, David. Every wrinkle on my face came from keeping you alive. My voice cracked, but the memory carried me further. I could hear him at 15, taller now, awkward, standing in the kitchen. Mom, I need money for books. I had smiled even though my chest tightened. I'll find a way, sweetheart. Don't worry. That night I had worked till dawn sewing clothes, my fingers raw. Now, whispering to myself in the dark room, I said, I bled for you. And now you bleed me dry of love. I tried to shove more things into the bag but froze when another memory tore through me. David at 20, wearing a suit for his first job interview. Mom, how do I look? He'd asked, beaming. I had wiped my eyes. Like the man your father would be proud of. He had hugged me tight. I'll never forget what you did for me. I laughed bitterly in the present. Never forget. You forgot everything, David. Every promise. The scarf slipped from my hands to the floor. I stared at it, whispering, what did I do wrong? Did I love you too much? Or not enough? I imagined him standing here and I spoke into the silence, pretending he could hear me. Answer me, David. Tell me why you let her speak of locking me away. Tell me why your silence hurt worse than her cruelty. My throat burned. Say something, anything. But the room gave nothing back. Only the echo of my broken whispers. I pulled out my husband's old watch from the drawer. The glass was cracked, but it still ticked faintly. I pressed it to my chest. He would never have let this happen. Another memory clawed at me. David as a child holding that very watch in his little palm. Someday this will be mine, right, Mom? Yes, baby. Someday. He had grinned. Then I'll always take care of you. I laughed bitterly now. You promised, David. You promised. I sat on the bed, clutching the watch and photo, whispering, I carried you through hunger. I carried you through storms. And you carry me only as a burden. My eyes landed on the torn slippers by the door. My voice dropped to a whisper. I can't walk far in those. But better torn shoes on the road than chains in this house. I packed them anyway. I paced the room, whispering to myself like I was trying to hold on to reason. Leave before dawn. Leave before they wake. Don't look back. The memories wouldn't let me rest. Each one stabbed deeper. I imagined young David again, maybe 12, sneaking into my bed after a nightmare. Mom, don't leave me, he had cried. I had stroked his hair. Never, baby. Never. Now with the bag on my lap, I whispered, and yet here I am leaving you. My knees buckled and I sat back down, clutching the bag like a lifeline. My voice cracked. Do I hate you, David? Or do I still love you too much to hate you? The clock ticked louder, reminding me of the hours slipping away. I leaned close to the window, whispering to the night sky, if there's a God, give me strength. Don't let me fall apart before I even step outside. I pressed my forehead to the cold glass, whispering, tomorrow they'll lock me away. Tonight I must leave. But my heart will never leave you, David. And that is my curse. I sat back, my breath uneven, the bag heavy in my hands. It's time. No more memories. No more excuses. But even as I said it, the memories came again, stabbing, betraying me more than Jessica's whispers ever could. I closed my eyes and whispered the final words of the night. You were my reason to live, David. And now you are the reason I must run. The hallway clock struck midnight. I pressed my hand against the wall to steady my breath. Laura, I whispered to myself, just one step at a time. The stairs creaked under my weight. I froze, waiting, terrified Jessica might stir. The silence pressed on my chest. I gripped the rail and whispered again. Don't look back. I reached the front door, but my shaking fingers fumbled with the lock. Come on, I muttered. Please don't betray me now. The latch clicked. My heart pounded louder than the night. Outside the air was cold, sharp and alive. I wrapped my sweater tighter and whispered, free, at least for now. But freedom was heavier than chains. Each step away from David's house felt like walking into a graveyard. Halfway down the street I heard my own voice break. Where do I even go? No answer. Only the sound of crickets mocking me. I saw a porch light flicker on ahead. Mr. Miller stood there, leaning against the railing, his arms crossed. "Mrs. Laura?" he called softly. "Why are you out here at this hour?" I swallowed hard. I had to leave. His brows furrowed. "Leave? From David's? At midnight?" "Yes." My voice cracked. "Please don't ask me to explain." He sighed, adjusting his glasses. "You know how gossip spreads in this neighborhood." "I don't care," I snapped, then lowered my tone. "All I ask is that you pretend you never saw me." Mr. Miller rubbed his chin. "That's not safe. Where will you go?" "I don't know." My throat burned. "Maybe anywhere but here." He hesitated, then leaned closer. "David's a good man. Maybe you're misunderstanding Jessica." My chest tightened. "No. You didn't hear her. You didn't hear the way she whispered about locking me away." He looked away. "Families fight. Words get twisted." Twisted. I almost laughed, bitter and broken. "Would you call plotting to cage me just twisted words?" Silence. He didn't argue, but he didn't offer help either. I stepped closer. "Please, Mr. Miller. I just need to know you won't tell them you saw me." His eyes softened for a moment, then hardened again. "It's not my business," he muttered. "Do what you want." My chest sank. "Not your business, of course." I turned from him, clutching my sweater like armor. My footsteps echoed too loudly in the empty street. Inside my head, Jessica's whisper replayed. "Tomorrow we'll lock her away." I bit my lip so hard it bled. Not tomorrow. Not ever. The town felt strange at night. Houses that once looked warm now seemed like prisons with glowing eyes. I passed the bakery on the corner. Its sign swung in the wind, squeaking like a warning. My legs trembled. I pressed my hand against a lamppost, whispering, "Keep moving, Laura. Just keep moving." Suddenly, I thought I heard footsteps behind me. I spun around. Nothing. Only shadows stretched across the pavement. Still, I whispered to the night, "Stay away from me." I reached the park. The swings clinked gently in the breeze. Memories flooded me. David as a boy, laughing, begging me to push him higher. My knees buckled and I sat on the cold bench. "David," I whispered. "Why didn't you stop her? Why didn't you stop anything?" Tears blurred the streetlights. I wiped them with shaking fingers, whispering to myself like a madwoman. "You can't break here. You can't." A stray cat brushed against my leg, startling me. I whispered down at it. "At least you came near me. More than most humans tonight." The cat meowed once and slipped away. I envied its freedom. My mind screamed, "Go back. Maybe it's all a mistake." But my heart roared louder. "If you go back, you'll never leave again." I pushed myself up and staggered forward. Every house looked closed, every door sealed. No one wanted me. Finally, I stopped at the edge of town. The road stretched into darkness. I whispered, "This is it. Either walk into nothing, or walk back into hell." The wind whipped across my face, cold and merciless. Behind me, I thought I heard a door open. Mr. Miller's voice floated faintly. "Mrs. Laura. Are you sure about this?" I turned my head but didn't step closer. "Sure? No. But I'd rather risk the night than risk her." He frowned, barely visible in the distance. "People will talk." "Let them," I said firmly. "At least I'll still be me." His voice dropped. "Then may God protect you." I nodded once and turned my back for good. Every step into the darkness was a step away from the woman Jessica wanted to erase. My breath shook, but my voice came steady. "I'm not gone yet. I'm still here." And the night swallowed me whole. The bench at the bus stop was cold and rough against my back. My legs gave out and I collapsed onto it, trembling. My throat burned with thirst. My head spun. I whispered, "God, just let me survive the night." A shadow fell across me. A woman's voice said softly, "Ma'am, are you all right?" I blinked up and saw a woman holding a paper bag. She had warm brown eyes and a scarf around her neck. I'm fine," I lied, my voice weak. "You don't look fine." She set her bag down and pulled out a water bottle. "Here. Drink." My hands shook as I reached for it. "Thank you." "Careful," she said gently, steadying the bottle while I gulped. The water slid down like life itself. "I can't remember the last time I drank." She sat beside me. "My name's Evelyn." "And you?" "Laura." My voice cracked. Laura, she repeated as if tasting the name. Do you have family nearby? I froze. Shame stabbed my chest. Yes, I whispered. But I can't go to them. Her eyes searched mine. Or is it that you don't want to? My throat tightened. Maybe both. She sighed, then gave a faint smile. I've seen that look before. Tired, scared, but still fighting. I blinked fast, holding back tears. You don't know me. No, she said, but I know women like you. I was one of them once. I turned to her slowly. You were. She nodded. 10 years ago, I sat on a curb with nothing but my purse and a bruised face. A stranger handed me a sandwich. That small act saved me. Her words pierced me. And now you're the stranger saving me. She smiled softly. Maybe it's my turn. Silence settled, broken only by the bus rumbling past without stopping. Evelyn looked at me carefully. Do you trust me, Laura? I hesitated. I don't know. Trust is not easy right now. That's fair, she said, her tone calm. But you can walk with me. There's a shelter not far from here. They take women in, no questions asked. My chest tightened. A shelter? Like, for homeless people. For women who need a place, she corrected. You need a place, don't you? I closed my eyes. Jessica's whisper rang in my ears. Tomorrow we'll lock her away. Yes, I admitted, opening my eyes again. I need a place. Evelyn stood and offered her hand. Then come. Just tonight. Rest. I stared at her hand. Why help me? Her voice softened. Because someone once helped me. I placed my trembling hand in hers. All right. We walked together. The night air was sharp, but her presence eased the chill. After a few minutes, I whispered, You remind me of myself. Years ago, I was the one helping others. Her eyes flickered toward me. What happened? My son married a woman who smiles in public and whispers daggers in private. And he lets her. Evelyn pressed her lips together. I'm sorry. I raised him alone, I said, my voice breaking. Worked 2 jobs. Saved every penny. And now, my throat closed. You don't have to explain more, she interrupted gently. Sometimes the people we love wound us the worst. Tears pricked my eyes. You say that like you know. I do. She exhaled. My own sister shut me out when I left my husband. He said I was dramatic. I had nowhere to go. I whispered, That's cruel. Cruel, yes. But it taught me who I could count on. Strangers mostly. Her honesty wrapped around me like a blanket. Strangers. Maybe they're kinder because they expect nothing. She nodded. Exactly. Soon, we reached a small brick building with a faded sign, Grace House Women's Shelter. Evelyn pushed the door open. Warm light spilled out. Go ahead. I froze at the threshold. What if they ask questions? They won't, she assured. They'll just give you a bed. My voice trembled. I don't want pity. It's not pity, she said. It's survival. The smell of soup drifted from inside. Voices murmured softly. For the first time in days, the sound didn't feel threatening. Evelyn touched my arm. Laura, you deserve to rest. I stepped inside, my knees weak. A woman at the desk smiled gently. Welcome. Bed or food first? Bed, I whispered. She handed me a blanket. Right this way. I turned to Evelyn. Thank you. I don't know how to repay you. You already did, she said softly. By not giving up. Her words struck deep. For the first time since leaving, I felt a flicker. Small, fragile, but real. Hope. The bed creaked as I sat up, clutching the thin blanket. For the first time in days, I had slept, but unease still gnawed at me. A voice broke my thoughts. You're awake. I turned. A woman in her 40s, tall with sharp eyes, leaned against the doorway. Yes, I said softly. She stepped closer. I'm Margaret. I help run the shelter. I nodded. Laura. Margaret studied me. New arrivals usually tell us why they're here. You didn't. I shifted. I don't think I'm ready. She folded her arms. We don't force anyone. But secrets fester. You'll feel lighter if you share. Her bluntness startled me. And if I don't? Then you carry the weight alone. I looked down at my hands. I've carried worse. Margaret's eyes softened. Maybe. But carrying alone nearly broke me once. I glanced up. You. Yes, she said firmly. I hid bruises for years. Pretended I was fine. Until I wasn't. Her honesty disarmed me. Did anyone believe you? No, she said bitterly. Not my family. Not my friends. Only strangers here did. Her words echoed my own life. That sounds familiar. She pulled a chair and sat across from me. So tell me, Laura. Who hurt you? The question sliced through me. My daughter-in-law whispered about locking me away. My son stayed silent. Margaret's brow furrowed. He allowed it? I swallowed hard. Yes. He let her words poison everything I built. Margaret shook her head slowly. Silence can be worse than violence. Tears threatened. I worked 2 jobs. I raised him alone. And now I'm the burden he wants to erase. Margaret leaned in. You are not a burden. They are cowards. Her words struck deep. I whispered, then why does it still feel like my fault? Because love blinds us, she said. We forgive too much until forgiveness becomes chains. I stared at her. How did you break free? She exhaled. The night I came here I told the truth. For the first time I said it aloud. That's when healing began. I hesitated. And you think I need to do the same? I know you do, she said firmly. I rubbed my temples. I'm scared. If I speak it, it becomes real. It's already real, she countered. The only question is whether you stay its prisoner or not. Silence stretched. Finally, I whispered, her name is Jessica. She smiles sweetly at the world, but behind closed doors she spits venom. And David, my son, he just nods. Margaret listened without flinching. Keep going. My chest ached. She called me useless. Said I was a weight around their necks. Last night I heard her whisper, tomorrow we'll lock her away. Margaret's jaw tightened. That's not just cruelty. That's control. Yes, I whispered. So I left. Alone. Into the night. Margaret reached across the table, resting her hand on mine. That took strength. I laughed bitterly. Strength? I feel like a ghost. Ghosts don't run, she said. Ghosts fade. You're still here, still fighting. Her conviction warmed something in me. Do you really believe I can rebuild? I don't just believe it, she said firmly. I've seen it. Every woman who walks through these doors carries ashes. Some leave carrying fire. I blinked at her words. Fire. Yes, she said. The kind that lights the way forward. Or burns bridges forever. I let out a shaky breath. I want that. I want fire. Margaret squeezed my hand. Then stay. Rest. Speak. Heal. This place will hold your secrets until you're ready to turn them into power. Tears slid down my cheeks, but for once they didn't taste bitter. Thank you, Margaret. She smiled faintly. Don't thank me yet. Thank yourself for surviving long enough to get here. As she stood to leave, her words lingered. Some leave carrying fire. I lay back on the bed, whispering to the ceiling, then let me burn. Morning light filtered through the thin curtains. I sat on the edge of the bed, my blanket folded neatly beside me. My body still ached, but the heaviness inside me felt different. A knock at the door startled me. Laura? It's Evelyn. I opened the door. She stood there with 2 cups of tea. You found me, I whispered. She smiled. I wanted to check in. May I come in? Of course. I stepped aside. She set the cups on the table and Saturday. How did you sleep? Better than I expected, I admitted. Good. She sipped her tea. Margaret told me you spoke a little last night. I looked down. A little. She said you carry a heavy story. I gave a hollow laugh. Heavy enough to crush me. Evelyn leaned forward. But you're still standing. I swallowed. Barely. Barely is still alive, she said softly. Alive means hope. Her words shook me. Do you really believe that? That there's hope for someone like me? She nodded. I do. Because I was you once. I looked at her. What happened? She exhaled slowly. My husband wanted control. Every decision, every dollar, even my thoughts. When I resisted, he told me I was insane. He tried to convince everyone else too. My chest tightened. Gaslighting. Exactly, she said. But one night I walked out with nothing but fear in my pocket. And I found this shelter. I whispered, so you know what it feels like to be erased. Her eyes glistened. Yes. But I also know what it feels like to reclaim yourself. I closed my eyes. I don't even know who I am anymore. You're Laura, she said firmly. A woman who dared to walk into the night rather than live in a cage. Tears welled. But David, my own son, he let her plot against me. Evelyn's voice softened. Love makes betrayal cut deeper. But remember, his choices don't define your worth. I shook my head. Then why do I feel worthless? Because they want you to, she answered. But feelings aren't truth. Truth is you survived. Truth is you're here. Her words sank into me like seeds. And what if I can't move forward? He reached for my hand. Then lean on us until you can. No one heals alone. Her warmth made me whisper, I'm so tired of being alone. You're not alone anymore, she said. We're here. And one day when you're ready, you'll be strong enough to help the next woman who walks in. The thought startled me. Me? Help someone? Yes, she said with certainty. Strength doesn't come all at once. Comes in whispers. And today you already whispered the truth. I let out a shaky laugh. Whispers of strength. Exactly, she smiled. Every whisper grows until it becomes a roar. I sat back, letting her words sink in. I want that roar. I want to stop trembling. You will, she said. But it starts with believing your voice matters. I thought of Jessica's smirk, David's silence, Mr. Miller's indifference. They all made me feel invisible. Evelyn met my eyes. Then let this place remind you, you are seen. A tear slid down my cheek. You have no idea how much I needed to hear that. I do, she said. Because once someone said it to me. I squeezed her hand. Thank you, Evelyn. Don't thank me, she replied. Just promise me something. What? When the day comes that you feel strong again, you'll speak your story. You'll be the voice another woman needs. I nodded slowly. I promise. She smiled, stood, and picked up the empty cups. Then your healing has already begun. As she left, I whispered to myself, whispers of strength. One day a roar. And for the first time I believed it. The afternoon sun poured through the shelter's window. My heart wouldn't stop racing. Margaret stood by the doorway, her voice calm but firm. Laura, someone's here to see you. I froze. Who? Your son. My blood ran cold. David. She nodded. He asked for you. Do you want to see him? I swallowed hard. If I say no? Then he leaves, she said simply. This is your choice. I clenched my fist. For days Jessica's whisper haunted me. Maybe this was my chance to face it. I'll see him. Margaret opened the door. David stepped inside, looking thinner, nervous. His eyes darted around the room before landing on me. Mom, he whispered. I kept my voice steady. Why are you here, David? He shifted uneasily. Jessica told me you left in the middle of the night. I've been worried sick. Worried? I scoffed. You sat there while she planned to lock me away. You didn't say a word. His shoulders slumped. I didn't know what to do. You do nothing. Always nothing. My voice shook. Do you know what it feels like to hear your own child choose silence over you? Mom, please. No. I snapped. I raised you alone. I gave you everything. And when I needed you most, you let her spit venom into my life. David's eyes watered. I thought she was just upset. I didn't think she meant it. I laughed bitterly. You didn't think. That's the problem. He stepped closer. I came here to bring you home. I recoiled. Home. That house stopped being my home the moment she whispered those words. He flinched. Jessica regrets it. She told me she was just angry. Angry. I hissed. Angry is slamming a door. Angry is shouting. Plotting to lock me away is not anger, David. It's cruelty. His lips trembled. I don't want to lose you. You already lost me, I said, tears spilling. The night you chose her silence over my dignity. Mom, I was scared. You don't understand how she... I cut him off. Scared? I've lived my entire life fighting fear. I worked 2 jobs to keep food on your plate. I faced storms alone. Don't stand here and tell me about fear. His voice cracked. I'm sorry. I stared at him. Sorry doesn't erase betrayal. Margaret spoke softly from the corner. Laura, you decide what you need from him. I wiped my eyes. What I need. I needed my son to defend me. I needed my son to love me louder than her whispers. David whispered, I do love you. Love without action is just noise, I said coldly. He sank into the chair, covering his face with his hands. Tell me what to do. Tell me how to fix this. I shook my head. I can't tell you how to be a son. That's something you should already know. Silence filled the room. Finally, I whispered, do you even realize how close I was to being trapped? Do you know what might have happened to me? His voice muffled. I know. And it kills me. Good, I said, standing. Let it kill you. Let it haunt you the way her whisper haunts me. He looked up, broken. Mom, please come home. I'll change. I'll stand up to her. I held my ground. Promises mean nothing without proof. If you want to change, do it. But don't ask me to gamble my soul again. He stood slowly. So, you're staying here? For now, I said firmly. Here I can breathe. His lips trembled. Will you ever forgive me? I swallowed hard. I don't know. Forgiveness isn't owed, it's earned. Tears streamed down his face. I'm so sorry, Mom. I turned away, my voice steady. I hope one day you'll mean that enough to act on it. Margaret opened the door. David lingered, then stepped out, shoulders slumped, guilt heavy on his back. When the door shut, I collapsed into the chair, my body shaking. Margaret placed a hand on my shoulder. You spoke your truth, she whispered. I don't feel strong, I admitted. Strength isn't how you feel, she said. It's what you did. And today you confronted him. I closed my eyes, whispering, then maybe I'm stronger than I thought. I sat alone in the shelter's courtyard, watching the smoke from a nearby chimney drift into the evening sky. It reminded me of every bridge I had burned, or maybe every bridge that had burned me. Evelyn joined me quietly. You're deep in thought again. I can't stop, I admitted. My memories won't let me rest. She handed me a cup of tea. Sometimes you have to face them before they consume you. I stared into the steam. Face what? The years I sacrificed? The nights I stayed up sewing clothes so David wouldn't feel poor at school? The mornings I went hungry so he could eat? Her eyes softened. Tell me, Laura. Say it out loud. I hesitated, then the words spilled. I gave up my life for him. And now when I need him most, he lets her treat me like trash. Do you know what that does to a mother? Evelyn touched my hand. It breaks you. Yes, I whispered. It shatters something inside. I can't decide if I hate him or if I hate myself for loving him still. Silence stretched. Then Evelyn asked gently, do you want to let go? My throat tightened. How do you let go of your only child? You don't let go of him, she said. You let go of the pain he caused. Otherwise it keeps eating you alive. I blinked back, tears. That pain is all I have left. No, she insisted. You have yourself. You have your voice. And you're stronger than the ashes of the past. I shook my head. Strength feels like a lie. Last night I dreamt of David as a boy, running to me with scraped knees, crying for my comfort. I woke up wondering if that child ever really existed. He existed, Evelyn said firmly. But people change. Life changes them. Then why can't I change? I whispered. Because you're still clinging to the image of who he was, she answered. I stood pacing. When my husband died, I thought David was my reason to live. Every penny, every ounce of energy, every dream, I poured into him. And now I'm left empty. Evelyn rose and faced me. You're not empty. You're grieving the mother you used to be. Her words struck hard. I sank onto the bench again. So what do I do with that grief? You burn it, she said softly. Turn it into ashes. Leave it behind. My voice trembled. Easier said than done. I never said it was easy, she replied. But it's the only way forward. The sky deepened, painted with streaks of orange and purple. I thought of Jessica's whisper, of David's silence, of every sleepless night. My chest felt heavy. I want to hate him, I confessed. It would be easier. Evelyn's gaze didn't waver. But you don't. No, I said bitterly. I love him still. And that love feels like a chain. Then break the chain, she urged. Love him, but don't let that love destroy you. I closed my eyes. How do I even start? By forgiving yourself first, she said. Forgiving too much. For expecting too much. For being human. Her words pierced me. Forgive myself? Yes, Evelyn said. You can't control David. But you can free yourself from the prison of your own blame. I sat there stunned. 4 years I had carried the weight of being both mother and father, protector and provider. And now perhaps I had to carry myself. Tears slipped down my cheeks. Then maybe it's time to let the past burn. Evelyn squeezed my hand. That's the first step. The evening breeze carried the faint smell of smoke again. I lifted my face to the sky, breathing deeply. For the first time in years, the ashes didn't feel like chains. They felt like release. The shelter felt safer than my son's house, but safety doesn't quiet a restless mind. That night I tossed and turned, haunted by voices. Jessica's cold whisper, David's silence, Evelyn's calm advice. By dawn I couldn't take it anymore. I sat up, pressing my hands to my temples. I need answers, I muttered. Evelyn stirred from the cot nearby. Laura? You're awake early. I can't stay here, I said sharply. I need to see him. I need to know why. Her brows knitted. Are you sure? It might hurt more than help. I don't care, I snapped, then softened. I'll never heal if I keep running. Evelyn exhaled slowly. Then I'll walk you to the bus. Hours later I stood outside David's house again. My legs shook but anger steadied me. I knocked hard. Jessica opened the door, her smile dripping with mockery. Well, look who found her way back. Changed your mind about being a burden? Where's David? I demanded. She leaned against the frame. At work. You can wait if you want, though I doubt he'll be thrilled to see you. I'll wait, I said, pushing past her. Her eyes narrowed, but she let me in. Fine. Sit. Don't touch anything. I sat at the table, my pulse racing. Jessica busied herself with her phone, smirking. Every tick of the clock felt like a hammer in my chest. When the door finally opened, David stepped in, tired from his shift. He froze when he saw me. Mom? What are you doing here? I rose. I came for the truth. Jessica crossed her arms. Oh, this should be good. I ignored her. David, did you really agree to lock me away? His face drained of color. Mom. Answer me. My voice cracked. Did you stand there, silent, while she planned to throw me out of my own life? He swallowed hard. I didn't know what to say. I stared at him, disbelief crashing over me. Not knowing what to say is not the same as protecting me. Jessica snickered. See? This is what I deal with. Always the victim. Shut up. I roared, startling even myself. David raised his hands. Mom, please. No. My hands trembled. I carried you, David. I worked myself to the bone so you could grow up with everything I never had. And you repay me with silence? With betrayal. His eyes filled with shame. I'm sorry. I was scared. Jessica kept saying we couldn't afford your care, that I was disposable? I spat. Jessica's smirk deepened. Finally, she gets it. I turned on her. You think you've won, don't you? You think tearing me down makes you powerful. But one day, Jessica, the same cruelty you sow will come back for you. Her smile faltered. Empty threats from a weak old woman. No, I said firmly. A truth from someone who's survived more than you can imagine. David stepped forward, his voice breaking. Mom, please. I never wanted this. Then why did you let it happen? I demanded. He had no answer. His silence was louder than any confession. Tears blurred my vision. I walked out that night because I realized I mattered less to you than her convenience. Do you know what that felt like? David's lips trembled. Like betrayal. Yes, I whispered. Like betrayal. Jessica rolled her eyes. Drama, drama, drama. David, tell her to leave before the neighbors think we're crazy. But David didn't speak. He just looked at me with guilt carved into his face. I stepped back, wiping my tears. I came here for answers. And I got them. Mom, he started, but I cut him off. No, David. You made your choice. And I'm making mine. I turned toward the door, my body shaking but my spirit unbroken. Jessica called after me. Go on then. Run back to your shelter. You'll come crawling back when you realize nobody else wants you. I paused at the threshold and looked over my shoulder. You're wrong. For the first time in years I know my worth. And I'll never crawl again. Her face hardened, but I didn't wait to see more. Stepping into the sunlight, I felt my chest expand. The pain was still there, but something new sparked inside me, resolve. Evelyn's words echoed in my mind, break the chain. And as I walked away, I knew I finally had. The morning air smelled fresher than it had in years. I walked back to the shelter, each step lighter than the last. The pain hadn't vanished, but something inside me had shifted. Evelyn noticed it the moment I entered. "Laura," she said, smiling softly, "you look different." "I left the chains behind," I whispered. She set her cup down. "Did you face him?" I nodded. "Yes." And I finally saw the truth with my own eyes. Her brow furrowed. "And he chose her silence over my love," I said bitterly. "But I chose myself." Evelyn touched my arm. "That's strength, Laura. Don't forget it." I sat beside her, exhaustion catching up with me. "It still hurts." "It will," she admitted. "Healing doesn't erase scars. It teaches you how to live with them." I stared at the floor. I keep asking myself if I failed him, or if he failed me. Evelyn was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "Maybe it's not about failure. Maybe it's about survival. You both made choices. His broke you. Yours saved you." Her words settled in my heart like truth I had avoided for too long. That afternoon I joined the women in the common room. Some were knitting, others whispering stories of escape and strength. One of them, a young woman named Clara, glanced at me shyly. "You're the one who yelled at her husband in court, right?" she asked. I laughed faintly. "No, that's not me. But I did yell at my son and his wife." Her eyes widened. "You yelled at your son?" "Yes," I said firmly. "Because silence almost destroyed me. Speaking saved me." Clara nodded slowly. "I wish I was that brave." "You will be," I told her. "The moment you realize your voice is all you need." Evelyn, overhearing, smiled proudly. "See, Laura? You're already turning your ashes into fire for others." I blinked back tears. Maybe that's why I'm still here. To remind others they're not weak. That night, lying on my cot, I stared at the ceiling. For the first time in months, I didn't feel trapped. My son's face appeared in my mind, not as the man who betrayed me, but as the boy who once ran into my arms. I whispered into the dark, "I forgive you, David. But I won't return." The words tasted like freedom. The next morning, Evelyn handed me a small notebook. "Write," she urged. What would I even say? "Your story," she replied. "Every wound, every whisper, every step. The world needs to hear it." I held the notebook, feeling its weight. "Do you think anyone would listen?" She smiled. "They'll listen because it's real." So I began to write. About the night I heard Jessica whisper, about the silence that broke me, about the road that nearly swallowed me. Every page carried pieces of my heart, stitched together by ink. Weeks passed. Slowly the shelter became more than a refuge. It became a place of rebirth. I helped in the kitchen, shared stories in the evenings, laughed with Clara when she dared to smile again. One day Evelyn leaned over and whispered, "Look at you. You're glowing." I laughed. "Don't be ridiculous." "I mean it," she insisted. "The woman who walked in here broken isn't the woman sitting here now." I thought of Jessica's mocking smile, of David's silence, of my tears in the courtyard. Then I thought of the notebook filling with words, of Clara's quiet gratitude, of Evelyn's steady presence. "You're right," I admitted softly. "I'm not her anymore." That evening, as the sun dipped low, I stepped outside. The sky blazed with colors. Fiery orange, deep violet, tender pink. It felt like a promise. A group of sparrows fluttered overhead, and for the first time in a long time I didn't feel small. I felt free. I whispered to myself, "This is my new dawn." And I believed it.